Greetings. I am Dr. Noni Davis, coming to you from St. C Academy, and this is our 30th year. So this week we celebrate 30 years of African centered education, and we began this journey with just 7 students. And today we have vacillated between maybe 40 to 55 students, depending on the year. And it's just so exciting. This is a legacy school. My parents, William Edward Davis, the late William Edward Davis Sr., and my mother, Sylvia Davis. I joined them in creating St. C Academy for African American students. We named it St. C Academy is an acronym from Second Timothy 2:15, um, which is study to show yourself approved. And so that was my parents' favorite scripture. And as teachers, educators, my father used to help people take SATs, and my mother was a public school teacher. And also started St. Cia Study Club to help children who were in the school that she was in. It was, pretty much predominantly Black school with a few Hispanic students, and she wanted to create a after school study program, and so that's how we started. And so we used different symbols. My dad created a papyrus, and one of the first symbols that we use, and we still use, is the Jinyami. And this is the symbol, and it's an Adinkra symbol, and it means accept God, accept God. Um, it's the symbol of the omnipotence, omnipresence, and immortality of God. So, except God, I fear none. And we thought that was very apropos because we were about to engage in, I would consider it to be spiritual warfare in a country that continuously disparages African American people. And so this uh, name plus on a papyrus, a roll of papyrus from ancient Egypt, all symbolizing our determination to focus and center African African worldview in our approach, and then also make sure that we were also seeing this this new venture through the lens of a spiritual lens. So African centered education, and of course, African people are spiritual people. So that was just that was just how we did it. And so, and then we chose the colors. Our colors, school colors, are purple and gold. And purple, a lot of people know it represents wisdom and creativity, peace, pride, independence, and wealth. And it's also in the chakras, the highest, that in purple, and the and gold or yellow. Gold are like the highest forms of consciousness. I think I've got that right, in the chakras. And so then gold represents uh health, prosperity, success, vitality, illumination, and wisdom. So the combination of the purple and the gold, and the janame and papyrus, all of these symbolized what our vision was for the school. And so today, I've been work on. I haven't forgotten about Dr. King. Where do we go from here? But because the 23rd, also, I didn't know when we decided to open the school. The reason why it's February is because that's when all of our official paperwork came through. But we had already begun sort of like a homeschool and da da da. So by the time we finished all of our official stuff, it was February 23rd, which is also Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois's birthday. So I was like, we were just really on that thing um, as we were developing this institution. And so all of these different pathways were intersecting, and just wow. Anyway, so our inspiration came from uh, this amazing woman. My mother had her children read this book, and the book is about Mary McLeod Bethune, and this was one of the readers in her when she was out there teaching in the public school. This was the book that she had her students read. Let me do it one more time. So that's Mary McLeod Bethune, um, Voice of Black Hope and Women of Our Time. And so, and this book was written. When was this book written? It's eight for ages 7 through 11, and they had, I think it's Puffin Books, and it was made in written 1987. It was first published. So this she was so inspiring. So my mom was focused on Mary McLeod Bethune, but we were also at the same time Marva Collins had started her school up there in Chicago, and so she was also. My mom was encouraged. She said, "Hey, if she can do it in this time frame, then I can do it." And she did the same thing, turn her house into a school, and I think it's gone on and expanded. And it's just she's doing incredible work up there still. I think she's still here with us. But Mary McLeod Bethune, my mom reading her book was laid the groundwork for this journey. Um, and so she was a famous African American ancestor, and she was inspired by this amazing woman when she found this book. She was Mary McLeod Bethune was a force to be reckoned with. This lady was unbelievable. But what is interesting is that one of the first things that's said in this story is that her grandmother, uh, their grandparents were enslaved, and um, her grandmother made sure she knew about her African ancestry. Her African ancestry. Both her grandmother and her mother continuously reinforced, "You are from these people. This is what life was before enslavement. This is not natural. I don't care what they tell you. You came from Africa. You came from a great people." And so I this is what we believe at our school. And when you do African centered education, you are instilling within the students this uh, this identity that is not just grounded here. I know a lot of people want to start with slavery. We're Black Americans and we want to start with slavery. I know a lot of people say Black Americans were already here. I do not disagree with that because I know I've talked about Abubakar II before. We know that there were migrational patterns. Abubakar II, they said, came over here in the 1300s. He was in Brazil. We also believe that there were Nubians, the Olmec civilization. These are Black people. So we ain't arguing with that. When they came, I don't know. But I'm not going to say that we were the first people in what we call the Americas. I think the other people were here too. Migrationally, Black people were the first people on earth. So we were traveling all over the place. But I don't we also know that Africans came here on slavery. And when you begin to read your own history, you know that there are Africans who can tell you that their parents came from the continent. And so I think that that's, a foolish argument. But anyway, we know that they have these pseudo narratives of inferiority of African. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people do not want to be associated with Africa because they see it as a negative thing. I don't know what's going on with my eyebrow here. But anyway, they see it as a negativity. But uh, Mama Mary McLeod Bethune understood who she was. And it was very clear. And so much during her lifetime, she can attribute that grounding to a first-hand knowledge of who she was and who her ancestors were. So she was born in 1875 on July 10th, a Cancer woman like me, in Maysville, South Carolina. You too, Mark. The 15th child of 17 children. And her grandmother Sophie was the one who made sure she realized and understood her African ancestry. Now, although she was told she was because of this infusion of her African identity, when this little white girl told her, her mother was working for this white family, and she was there with her. And now, mind you, 1875, they're freed. But the little girl told her, "You can't read a book. You can't do that." And da, 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 da. And she was like, "Okay." But one of the first chapters in this book is "Show Me an A," and in it, she is found learn how to her alphabet. So she had the little girl start teaching her. She tricked the little girl into teaching her alphabet, and and she and so she became, an amazing student. Um, Her goal was to learn and to become an educator. So she witnessed firsthand the challenges of being African American too. So in addition to this racism about you can't do this because you're black, she also said that she saw there was an incident where she saw an African American man almost lynched because he was asked to blow out a match that this white man had had lit. And the man said, "No, I'm not doing that." And they tried to beat him up. So she saw the foolishness. You don't kill somebody because they said no, they don't want to blow out your match. Okay. She also had to walk 5 miles to the black school, which was operated by this lady named Emma Wilson. And I found her picture. Miss Emma Wilson. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Where is Miss Emma Wilson? So this is a picture of Emma Wilson, and 1858. So she was one of her first teachers down there in South Carolina. And so she this lady made sure that she recognized Mary McLeod at that time, his intelligence and determination. And so she made sure she learned everything she needed to learn, which is what black teachers were doing in these little rinky-dink schools. They love to say our schools are terrible, but our schools continuously created these amazing leaders in the community. So when she would come home from school, she was the only one in the family that was able to go, I think. And so she would come home and teach her siblings how to read and write. And so at some point she went on to the next level of school, and she ended up at Barber Scotia, which is right here in North Carolina. Where is Barber Scotia? I think that's it. Is that Barber Scotia? Let me see. I'm trying to figure out where is it. It might be it. I might have the wrong building here, but anyway, it's either this building, I can't remember which one it is, or this one. But anyway, I found Barber Scotia, and Barber Scotia is down there in Concord, North Carolina. And so after she finished, oh no, this one was okay. That's Barber Scotia, right? Okay, that is Barber Scotia. This is Barber Scotia right here. Because after she finished Barber Scotia down there in Concord, she then went on to Moody College in Chicago. So when she was in Moody College, that's a missionary school. And so she was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to go to Africa," because she learned all about Africa from her grandmother. And so she's like, "Okay, when I finish in this institute, Bible Institute, I'm going to Africa," because that's what they said they were going to do. Unfortunately, they said you can't go. When she finished and she applied for her opportunity to go overseas to be a missionary, they said, "No, baby, we said black people ain't going over there. Y'all can't go over there and be missionaries to them." And of course, the reason is because they did not want this unification between, or this alignment between Africans and African Americans. And in my opinion, African Americans are from Chile and Argentina all the way through Latin America. I mean, from past Panama all the way through Latin America, up to Mexico, all the way up through North America, all the way to Canada, because all of those are the Americas. All the Caribbean, all of these are Americas. And so everybody's the foundation of African American, in my opinion, now. And we all have to fight the same people: the Portuguese, the British, the French, the Germans, the Dutch, the Portuguese, all of them. We need to sue everybody. But anyway, so she decided to become a teacher and join the staff at Haynes Institute in Augusta, Georgia. And that was interesting because so this is Lucy. Lucy Craft. There you go. This is Lucy Craft Laney, and this is the Haynes Institute. And so she was, you know, okay. She said Lucy Craft Laney had so much energy, and she was so such a powerful influence and example of a leader, educator, and everything, that she said, "Oh my goodness, I want to be like this woman." So it seems that Lucy Craft Laney was the person who had the most influence over um, Mary McLeod Bethune. And I don't even think I showed y'all a picture of Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune. This is her. This is this is Mary McLeod Bethune, and I also have a picture of her parents. This is her mother and her father. And so, and she eventually transferred from there and taught at Kendall Institute, and this one was in Sumter, Sumter, South Carolina, where she met her husband Albert. And I couldn't find a picture of Albert, but I did find a picture of her son. That's her son right there. This is Mary McLeod Bethune's son. You can see he looks so much like her. He's just like her. His name is Albert McLeod Bethune. And so she taught there. She taught at the Haynes Institute. She taught at Kendall Institute. And then she met her husband. And in 1904, they moved to Daytona Beach, Florida. And I think that by this time she was divorced. And so she decided to open a school there. And you have to remember, in the South, there were no schools. There was no public school system, remember, for Black children at this time. And so, I mean, Black people were having to do it all from scratch. So she opened up the school with 5 girls and 1 boy. And the boy was her son, Mr. Albert. And she charged 50 cents for her tuition. And the tuition was free for everybody who helped her build the structure. So you came over with your wood and your bricks and your stuff or whatever you did, your child was able to go to school for free. And the Black community, the churches all pulled together to support her efforts in building this institution. And within a few years, she had 250 girls and 30 boys in her school. And I think she had a separate building for the boys and a building for the girls. And her school day, I was like, what? Began at 5:30 a.m. and ended at 9:00 p.m. I was like, go ahead, mama. She had courses like Bible study, of course, home economics, tailoring, industrial skills. She taught them self-sufficiency type skills. I guess that would be how to build a house, how to, do all kinds of things like tailoring. They learned industrial skills, um, business skills, in addition to English language arts and foreign language and math and all of that. And then in addition to that, she said, okay, now how am I going to get this money? And so at that time, she was like, I'm going to get these white people's money. So she solicited white donors to sit on her board and receive donations from even Rockefeller. They said back in that time, he actually gave her $62,000 worth of money during that time. It didn't say, but that's what the equivalent would be today. That's what he actually gave her. So that was a lot of money. It'd probably be almost $1 million in today's money. I don't know. In 1923, she merged her school with the Bethune-Cookman College. Now, let me see if I got it. I don't have a picture of Bethune-Cookman, but it was founded in 1904. Was it 19? What is it? That number. Established 1901. I think. But anyway, um, and then she joined them. And so they merged their schools. It says 1923 is when she, okay, I can't read that date because over here it says 1923. But anyway, so she merged the school with Cookman Institute and became the president of the first black college in Florida. In 1931, the college became Bethune-Cookman College. So 1931, maybe that's what that's supposed to say. It's so blurry. So one of her new roles um, became to ensure government funding. So she's like, okay, I built all this stuff, but how are we going to manage it? I was going to show you one more picture of her. And this is a picture of her. And this is her school in Florida. And you see all those children. Oh my God, and they're so cute. And I guess the girls are in the front, and then the boys. It looks like, yeah, that is such a cute picture of all those kids. Um, let's see. So she was so she had to, in order to get this funding, she had to go to Washington D.C. And so she started lobbying and to attain these funds. She opened the first black hospital in 1911 because she was tired of seeing her people sick down there in Florida. And so they said it was called the McLeod Hospital after her parents, and it was open for 20 years. She also forced Daytona Beach to open up libraries, to integrate libraries. And she also lobbied for affordable housing for the African American community. She lobbied the government for voting rights for African American women, um, and uh, and founded the National Association of Colored Women, which is serving as the Florida chapter's president from 1917 to 1925. And did you know that she even founded the National Council of Negro Women in 1935 with the goal of improving the lives of the African American women? And that thing still exists today. And Durham, North Carolina has a branch, and I went and looked it up and made a donation. Anyway, but what was crazy is that she became a friend of Eleanor Roosevelt. Oh, and I forgot, I was supposed to read the pledge. The pledge for the, I'm gonna look it up while I'm talking. Um, the let's see, do I have it? The pledge. I think that's the pledge right there. Is that it? Oh no, that's not it. The pledge. Nope. I had to figure it out. But anyway, she met Eleanor Roosevelt and Franklin Roosevelt. I mean, she became very much engaged with them, and Mary McLeod Bethune actually befriended Miss Roosevelt, and then she also organized what we call the Black Cabinet. And so the Black Cabinet was a group of it was a federal council of Negro affairs where all black people came together and would advise the president. So this is, it was a formal but not formal institution, in the sense that they were not elected, but they were called upon to discuss issues, and Franklin Roosevelt was willing to listen to them. She also became the co-founder of the United Negro College Fund. And let's see, in this one, let me see, try to find her. Oh, wait, let me see if I can find recently saved pictures of those guys. Where are those guys? Thought I had them. There were pictures of, I don't see it, of William J. Trent. And William J. Trent was, do I have that man? William J. Trent was an economist from, I think it was Asheville, North Carolina. And I just want to show a quick picture of him. Search. And so he was from North Carolina, and he helped her with the United Negro College Fund. And then the other guy was Frederick, what's his name? Frederick Patterson. And Frederick Patterson was the son of the man who had owned the first um, car dealership. I mean, not car dealership, car um, company, automobile company. And he was, so that was really crazy too. Patterson, Patterson, come on now. Oh, Lord have mercy, y'all. Anyway, so he owned, oh, wait, let me see. Open visit. So he was the renowned founder of the United Negro College Fund, and and so that's him right there, Frederick D. Patterson, and he was a part of the let's see, I think his father was the one that started the um, company at the car company. One of the first companies that made cars, black people where they made cars. And so she also lobbied for African American women to become officers in the military. And, you know, a lot of you know about that. That was if you saw the movies, the 688, which was in 2024, is a World War II movie that Tyler Perry directed and produced, and it was about the women, black military officers, and how they organized the mail and made it possible. But it was all black women, and so that was Mary McLeod Bethune. And so she was a powerful woman. She was really interesting, and she was inspirational. One of the things that I thought was funny, and these are some notes that we took over the years that we learned about her, is that they said that she had a velvet glove over an iron fist. And so one of the men, this man named Robert Weaver, said that she had the most marvelous gift of affecting feminine feminine helplessness in order to attain her aims with masculine ruthlessness. So she was not going to play with you, and she gonna get what she wanted too. And like typical cancer women, anyway. And so in 1922, the KKK came to her and her one of her schools and said, "We're gonna," well, her school in Florida, and they said that we're gonna burn it down. And she said, "Okay." And she got all of her students to go into the building, and then she went outside and locked the doors, and she went outside and confronted them. And she said, if you burn it down, I'm gonna build another one. And they came to attack her. And I think they said there were like about 80 of them out there, 80 KKK members out there ready to burn that school down. She stood out there all night. If you burn it down, you come on in here if you want to. I ain't going nowhere, and you're not killing these children. And eventually the KKK left. But just imagine that she stood out there in front of them, 80 men, 80 crazy white men, and she said, And the reason why they came after her is because, what did I say up there before? That she was helping to register people to vote, even though she couldn't vote because this is 1910. 22. Oh, black people had just been given the right. Black women had just been given the right to vote, and so she was going to make sure everybody did it, and so she did. So anyway, she challenge these people. Then I think there was another thing that she did. She had that all night vigil against them. She was Iron Fist woman with a velvet glove. We visited her house. That's what we did. We would visit her house in Washington, D.C. So every other year, we haven't done a Sankofa journey in a minute because of the political environment, but I might go out there anyway. But we take a bus load of children and into these different places to learn Black history. We're there for 3 days or so, and it's called the Sankofa Journey. So about 20 years ago, we went to Washington, D.C., and we had requested an African American history tour. what we got was a Jewish tour guide, and he wanted to start taking us on these Jewish historical sites. And we were like, "Baby, we didn't get on here for that." And so my mama checked it real quick. She said, "No, baby, we're not doing this." And she said, "We want to see Black history." And this man did not know any Black history. He started talking about LaSalle, and the students in the back said, "Excuse me, sir, you mean Benjamin Banneker was the one to design the city of Washington, D.C.?" And then, they told him about, he didn't know about Frederick Douglass, and he didn't know about Mary McLeod Bethune. He knew none of the African American history. So he was on the bus having to ask the bus driver to find these places, and on the tour with us, learning information that he had never learned. So Saint C Academy was inspired by this woman, Mary McLeod Bethune, and she is the reason why we have our school today. And it's a very powerful book. And so you never know when you're reading about your people how it's going to impact your life. And that's all. Ashe. Ashe. So you must have gotten busy. All right, so I'm gonna log off. All right. Okay. I'll see you later.
You know how people love to enjoy food and don't understand how to flavor their food or how to replicate a meal? They're interested in supplements but don't know where to begin? Well, what I do is I take the guesswork out of enjoying flavor and wellness with my flavorful spice blends so that they can create delicious meals with healing benefits. Can Do Spice was created to help cooks at any level enjoy healing through food. Every spice blend was designed to give added health benefits of natural herbs. Every blend is complete. There's no need to add any additional spice for a delicious meal. Saving you time and money while adding supplements to your meals can be both tasty and fun. My earliest memories in the kitchen began with my father, Kenny Can Do Bond, so it was fitting that I would name this line after him. I have always looked to natural remedies to supplement the body, and I found myself hiding herbs and minerals in foods for my family. That's when it hit me. Everyone needs Can Do Spice. Having this. It's an exclusive brand for cooks at any level who want to create flavorful dishes with healing benefits that can satisfy the body and soul. Add a little spice to your life. Give Can Do Spice a try.
I'm a St. Cia student. Of course I walk into the sound of drums.
I'm a St. Cia student. Of course I know my mom.
I'm a St. Cia student. Of course I can play the drum.
I'm a St. Cia student. Of course I can work with my hands.
I'm a St. Cia student.